You're discharged and you begin studying and thinking about things differently. What happens next?
Well, eventually it's going to lead to the Jew, isn't it? I didn't figure that out right away.
Wait, what? I didn't know you were like that. What?
I became a vegetarian from eating, like, the truth became everything to me at that point. I'm Irish, so I'm eating potatoes. If it didn't have meat in it, like...
We do a little potato.
Of course.
Connor, would you like a potato? What about you? Wait, what?
Well, it's that latent, just inherent anti-quote Semitism that's apparently in all of us, you know?
Well, it's going around. I mean, it's like, we got to just be better human beings.
Seriously, like, after I got out of the Marines, I actually worked for Greenpeace doing canvassing, so going door to door and saying,
Why'd you do Greenpeace? Why did you join Greenpeace?
Because I love nature and I love the environment, and, you know, I'm a surfer, and, you know, so I've had some of the greatest experiences of my life in nature. Like, a lot of people recognize that and feel the same way I do. So it was natural for me to take the sort of lessons I learned as a Marine and apply them to defending the environment. This was a natural progression for me. But then when I worked at Greenpeace, I met a guy who was vegetarian. And at that time in my early 20s, I'm like, what's that faggot hippie shit? Like, why the hell are you a veggie? And this is 30 years ago. The guy actually answered the question by explaining to me what happens in the factory farm and the slaughterhouse. And all of a sudden, I was confronted with the reality of knowing that here's my friend here, this faggot hippie who's a vegetarian, because he doesn't want to contribute to the torture, mutilation, and just horrendous death.
They kill the animals to make good meat.
I was literally just in California where the guy I was visiting, he bought like 1,000 pounds of high-quality, organic, pasture-raised meat. And these animals, when they are sent to slaughter, it's a small scale, so like 5 or 6 of them a day is the most they will do. And the way they do it is not like through a chute where you smell the blood, you hear the sounds and trauma and fear and everything. Adrenaline is flowing.
The fear elevates the taste. You got to push them through a fear chute to get the flavor, the crackling.
It's easy to do that without the fear, but it does enhance the flavor.
I would disagree. The adrenaline and whatnot will unleash a lot of biochemicals that are actually having a very negative effect. And if you believe in karma, what's the karmic cost of like paying for something that you don't have to? So the real lesson with my friend was this guy is proving to me that I don't have to eat this stuff. If I do eat this stuff, I'm contributing to the slaughter, the mutilation, and the trauma and pure abject hell of what factory farming is.
I mean, it's a beast, though.
What's that?
It's a beast.
Well, look at the slaughterhouse. If that's not proof of satanic fucking reality, what is?
What is wrong with a slaughterhouse? The kill shoot?
It's not about God's law and natural law. I have no problem with hunters or small-scale farmers. In fact, I admire that. I respect that.
Do you see the people in this neighborhood around here?
Yes.
How are you going to pay them with hunters or feed them with hunters?
No, there's small-scale farming.
You need a kill shoot. You need to fucking stick pigs in a pipe and fire them down. What a rush. Imagine being a cow in a kill shoot and you just got it's like, all I see is just death in front of me. I'm just flying towards death right now.
Roller coaster.
To be on a motorcycle. The people in this neighborhood, how would you feed them if it was just hunters?
Okay.
I'll go out there with a bow and arrow.
I'm happy to address this, and you're bringing another issue into it. How are we going to manage to feed? First off, I was vegan for 9-10 years. I'm 56 now. I get complimented all the time about when people ask me, how old are you, 56? I'm like, no way, really? My father died of heart disease. His father died of heart disease. Half of all American men are having heart attacks. People are eating shit food that's mass-produced with hormones and chemicals and all sorts of pesticides. They're dying young, but here I am, 56, and I'll run circles around these 20-something-year-olds here. How?
What's the alternative?
The alternative is, number one...
Do you think you could beat Valentine in a foot race?
Anybody who's serious about health will tell you, you don't want to eat too much meat. If you eat too... Look at a carnivore. I've studied this on every level, physiologically. Look at a carnivore. You know what they all have in common?
They gorge themselves on the beastly kill.
And they have, their intestinal biochemistry is such that they have way higher acidic content.
Fuck.
They break down the flesh and even bone. And they have a short digestive tract, because what happens to flesh when you put it in a hot, moist environment?
I thought you were talking about why I have a distended gut.
What happens to flesh when you put it in a hot, moist environment is it will start to putrefy.
It roasts and it gets the flavor, the juices out.
I'm telling you the truth. Bottom line is this. We should be eating less meat. And when you have, you know John Wayne, right? You know what he died of? Do you know how much fecal matter was caked on his colon when he died? About 25 fucking pounds. That's flesh that's putrefying in your gut and then in your colon, and then it's clogging up your colon. Now you're getting fucking cancer down in your asshole.
Yep.
And all of this is related to the fact that biologically, physiologically, we are not designed to eat high levels of meat. You can eat a little meat, but you better have the fiber. Meat has no fiber. You need that fiber as a broom to sweep the colon, to keep it clean and keep it functioning. Once again, I practice what I preach. I'm healthy as fuck, and I have the ability to abuse my body a little bit, but also I prepare my body. I allow it to repair. So anyway, the point is—
How are you supposed to get big?
Listen, I can drink alcohol and get bigger if I want, but the cost of eating too much meat is, there's a direct correlate to colon cancer, cancers of all sorts, heart disease. But if you look at a lion, getting back to the point of does a carnivore have? A carnivore has a very short digestive tract. The objective is to eat it,
Blast
break
that
it
shit
down,
out as fast as
get it
possible.
through the system as quick as possible.
That's why we do toilets Olympics.
Yes.
I tell you what Malaysia's got going for it. They got the bidet, man. I like that, like rinsing my butt off and getting it squeaky clean, as opposed to toilet paper, which
If you don't use metal tools like the spoon that has the prongs, it's gay.
If you don't use
If you
that?
don't.
What?
If you're touching your ass with paper or water, that's fucking gay.
What about leaves?
You have to use like an egg whisk to wipe your ass.
That's why I do it like that guy on that radio show, that black guy who says, y'all don't catch your poop before it hits the water.
JLP does that too. Jesse Lee Peterson uses an egg whisk to wipe his ass.
I didn't know
Seashell
that.
method?
He told me he wipes his ass with an egg whisk because he was worried that God would think he's gay and strike him down if he uses his hand to wipe. And ever since that day, ever since JLP taught me how to wipe my ass, I've been using metal tools like this microphone.
I just wish he
Wow.
told us how to
Wow.
wash whisks.
He told us how to wash whisks. I would agree with you that we're obviously not meant to be. I mean, my gut, the last time I went to get a massage, not what you think, okay? I don't do
a
that.
happy ending?
It was a legitimate, we were on the road doing the comedy thing, and I went to get a lymphatic drainage thing, which was stupid because I worked. Lymphatic drainage works, but they don't tell you is you need to sweat afterwards or that shit is still circulating in your body. So it made me fucking sick.
Wow.
Which was pretty cool. But the lady was like, oh, your gut is very bad.
Wow.
You have very bad problem with your gut. Not good.
No tip?
You should eat an apple. So yeah, I'll meet you halfway there. I'll say we probably are not supposed to be carnivores. I don't know how are you supposed to get big?
Do you know how many vegan bodybuilders are out there?
No.
Shit tons.
Jack Nippard, he's like a stocky little Canadian. He's huge, and I think he's
Stocky
vegan.
little Canadian is what I'm supposed to be like, oh, I want to be like that. The guy's 5'6", 180 pounds. He's a monster.
Look at a gorilla. A gorilla's
Gorillas
like vegetarian
eat
as hell,
thousands
and
of pounds of
Bamboo.
trees, though.
even chimpanzees, they'll rip your freaking arms off. Let me just say, I'm not doing this as a vegetarian promo. What I'm saying is that there does come a cost. And I can strongly support the argument that if karma is real and we believe in God, did God give us dominion over the earth so that we could exploit animals for profit and ultimately pollute our own bodies and put them through hell? Is that really why he created the animal kingdom for us?
I think there's I think people have to sort of settle and focus on what they want to change in the world, and there's probably more important stuff than animal.
Everything connects. You know, one of the very well borne out facts, do you know how many serial killers and psychos start with abuse against animals first, and then they graduate
Sure.
up to humans?
Yeah.
And if you look at people who actually value life, as I have, I'm not a violent person at all, but I'm dangerous. If you want to fuck with me, I'm dangerous. But my point is that it's the golden rule in the simplest terms. If you were a cow, if you were a pig, if you were a chicken, now I could see the comedic lead in for that. But nonetheless, if you were, wouldn't you be grateful for the human being who said, you know what, I don't want to support that. If I'm going to eat meat, I'm going to do it in a way that's ethical. Be a hunter. Go out and hunt. Shoot that animal. Shoot him clean. He wouldn't see it coming. Boom. Done. Then skin that animal, quarter, butcher it, give thanks, say a prayer for it, and use everything and waste nothing. That, to me, is in line with God's law right there. Going to pay for a fucking burger of which you have no conception of anything that animal went through.
Now we're talking.
This kind of stuff has a cost. And if we believe in spiritual or karmic law,
$8.49. They're expensive.
do you know who else was a
nowadays.
vegetarian?
Adolf Hitler?
Ah, there you go. This is one of the 70 plus things I have in common with him.
Yeah.
A German vegetarian war hero.
I don't think that human souls reincarnate in animals, and I don't think that animals have the same level of consciousness that we do. So I think saying, imagine if you were a cow is kind of, doesn't really get us anywhere.
But does that mean that we give them less concern because they're not as smart as, and really,
Yes.
how smart are we? Look at us. Look how we're acting.
We're very
Are we
smart. I'm acting very good. I'm a good boy. I'm very smart. Also, I would say, I mean, there's a difference between actively torturing animals and also being sort of passively not caring because you're stuck in a some 9-to-5 marketing job and your life is like toil, you know? I don't